She says, Dear Tosha, I'm back in the forum and I'm really happy about it. Thank you for all this. She said, I posted this question on the Facebook page and you suggested that I send it in. So here it is. It may sound like it's from an absolute OO beginner. And this is what I wanted to say is, listen, some of you write in and you apologize. I understand, ahead why you do, but you'll apologize and you'll be like, well, I'm just a total beginner at this, so I'm really sorry. And I do want to say before I get into this letter, never apologize for being a beginner at this, because personally I see it really like the Zen beginner's mind issue, that it's you should always see yourself as a beginner. I constantly see myself as a beginner. Like, I know that, again, we live in this culture that's all about get good at something and then call yourself a master and, do all that garbage. It's like, really? You'd be better off perpetually seeing yourself as a beginner, because what I found in the relationship to the divine is that she knows over and over and over in my own life, she will dig out the tiniest areas where I'm still not 100% surrendered. And so I am constantly back into beginner's mind. And I really think that's a beautiful way to live, as opposed to, all that ossification and rigidity of thinking that you're some great master at something. It's like, I don't know, that's how I see it. Let God be the master. It's just, eternal beginner mind is very powerful. There's really a reason that the Zen people say that. So, all right. Anyway, she says, I find my job really boring. So when I'm looking for a new one, I find that all the jobs I'm seeing online seem even more boring than my current one. And then when I scroll through the job listings, I feel really unhappy and I can hardly breathe. And that's an obvious sign that something is wrong. So last night I dreamt of a logo of a company that I've been thinking of applying to, even though I'm not happy with the job offer. And what does that mean? Am I supposed to apply even when I feel so bad about it? It feels against the flow. But at the same time, I feel so stuck in my current job. So she says, please help. I think the solution might be something completely different. And then she says, I have to add that I'm working with the Abundance book by Randolph Price that Tosha has mentioned. Anyway, okay. So first, I just want to say, if one of your issues is money, I do have to say, besides, the money course is really good for that. The one It's Not Your Money is great for anything with money issues. But also that book that she's mentioning, the Abundance book, it's one of the few books on abundance that I really love. And it's just this tiny little green book. I think the guy's name is Randolph Price, and it's just super simple for how to open to divine flow. So I'm glad that you're using that too. Here's what I would do with this. Like, okay, so you're describing it. You feel stuck where you currently are. You had a dream. I had the logo of another company. You're wondering whether you should apply. And you're thinking that the answer is probably something else entirely. And so let me just walk you for a moment through offering this in a maybe a fuller way, so that you can really get the burden of it off your own back. Because I think the way you're writing it, I totally understand why you're writing it this way, but you're seeing it like, here's my burden. I need to find a new job. I feel bored by everything. I dreamt about this place, but doesn't feel like the right thing, and everything doesn't look right. And I think the answer is something else, but I don't know what it is. So if you haven't done this yet, I would write down on a piece of paper something like, my entire work life, my entire career, however you want to write it. I would fold it up. I would put it into a God box so that you really have a palpable experience that this so-called search, this opening to the new, now fully belongs to divine love. Put it in the God box, maybe also write it down and burn the paper so that you have a feeling that you're really offering it, or go break a coconut about the topic, but do something palpable that lets you really get into the mindset that the ego itself is not only going to be making the decision. And then only because you had the dream about that place. It's not like I'm saying, you have the dream, you should apply, but you might want to sit with that dream, and you might want to say to the divine, can you please send more information? If you had me have that dream, please show me the way. Like if I'm meant to apply, send another sign. I do that a lot. I ask for more amplification. I ask to be shown. And you ask for another sign. And you could even say, I'm thinking of applying, stop me if I'm not meant to. But I agree with you that let's say you're thinking of applying for that job and you just feel sick inside, that alone could be your sign. Like, no, if you're really feeling sick inside just at the thought of it, then no. But I have a real feeling reading your letter that the offering needs to go to a deeper place where you're truly casting the burden of it to the divine, so that you're really saying, if you want me to be in the current job, if for some reason I haven't learned everything that I meant to learn there, then open the way so that I can be here. That's where the true offering comes in, because you're no longer saying, well, I'm just bored, and bring something new and everything I'm looking at is equally boring and now I'm just frustrated. You're really saying this now belongs to you. So if for some reason I'm still meant to be in this job, shift me or shift the situation so that I can finally embrace it. I mean, if you remember, that's what happened to me when I wanted to stop the readings. Kept getting a message that it wasn't time yet, even though I was so ready to go do other stuff. But the divine was like, no, you have something more to learn from surrendering to being there. And I learned a tremendous amount the last couple of years, especially that I gave those readings before I was, quote unquote, allowed to quit. It just wasn't time yet. And I learned a lot from surrendering to it and letting it be and finding innovative new ways to do it. And I just completely changed my approach to the reading so that I could enjoy that part of it until it was time to go. Now, I'm not saying you have to be there 2 more years. I'm just saying the act of the offering shows you, do I need to be here and have my attitude changed and hand it all to the divine? And sometimes once you surrender to a situation, the situation changes and all of a sudden something becomes enlivened there. Or all of a sudden you get a promotion and your whole situation of the company changes. I've seen so many crazy things happen when it's fully offered. So it could be that it's meant to shift there, or it could be once it's fully offered, now you're saying to the divine, well, if you want me to be here, let me be here. If you want me to move, show me the way. Now I'm open to receiving the signs. So I think it's actually a great question that people go through a lot, and they sometimes mistake the offering with ramming through solutions, and it's kind of the opposite. You start to get guided. I'll give you another example with it. A friend of mine reached out to me a couple weeks ago and asked if I wanted to go to India with her at the end of the year. And while it's a place I've longed to go back to for 20 years, I've been praying about it. Like, it's just, I don't know, it's just how I do everything. I've been really praying, do you want me to go back? Like, is this the right time? Do you want me to go with her? And just show me. I'm not going to run and buy a ticket until I get more signs. And about 3 days after I started praying about it, I heard that someone else that I know is getting married in India at the same time. And I've my whole life wanted to see an Indian wedding in India. So again, I don't know yet if it's meant if I'm meant to go, but that sign caught my attention. Like, whoa, what are the odds that at the same time there would also be this wedding? So that's what I would suggest doing, and then just be very neutral with it. Like, that's the key. You know, I'm not going, God, I have to go, open the way, I want to go. I'm just kind of going, look, I would love to go, I think, but only if it's your will and only if it's the right time. And if not, I'm perfectly happy to stay here and not go through the trouble. So see that, try that. And I'm really glad that you sent it in.